Happy Sunday. Hope everyone had a good week, and I hope you had some fun doing the activities we had last week. And we're going to talk a little bit about this week's plan. If you're having difficulty understanding how to do any of the activities in here, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or an email, but most of them are pretty simple. And the goal is not to get through everything for the whole week. The goal is just to do some things that go with the book, have fun, and keep your child engaged in learning while we're out of school. So this week our book is going to be To Market to Market. If you have a child in preschool, they probably read it before. It's a really good book. It's one of my favorites. And so the first thing you can do, even tomorrow before they even read the book if you want to, because when you show them the picture, they're probably going to know the story. The first thing, and it'll be in the packet, or you can just write it on a piece of paper, it's going to say My Shopping List. And you're going to just give them ad from the grocery store. If you don't have one, just print off a couple of pages of whatever your favorite store's ad is. Let them go through the ad and cut out things that they would want to buy at the store. It doesn't need to be reasonable. It doesn't need to be something that you like. It just needs to be whatever they think they would want to buy at the store. This would be my first favorite. Okay, so cut them out. Let them glue some pictures on. If you have a writer, let them copy some of the words. If you have a tracer, you can write the words in highlighter and then let them trace it. Or you can let them tell you what it is and then you can write it down, just so that they can get the idea that print has meaning and that the print goes along with the picture. So that's the first activity. Everybody has been added to a class list on a website called happynumbers.com. It's this is our class number. Our class number is 2620044. When you go to the website and you put in the class number, it's going to bring up a class list and you'll see your child's name. You're going to click on it and I'm going to send you their password. All the passwords are just 2 digits, so you can write them down somewhere for them so that they can learn how to kind of log in for themselves. And they'll do an assessment, but I think all of pre-K starts at the first level anyway. But it's just something to keep them going on math, and just let them do that every day whenever they want to. And that's listed at the bottom here, happynumbers.com. For motor skills, we're going to start using GoNoodle.com, which has a lot of really fun activities. So I've put some in there that I think kind of tie into either what we're doing or something that would maybe be helpful for the situation that we all are finding ourselves in. But use GoNoodle for gross motor and physical activity. There's also some self-calming strategies in there, some mindfulness activities, some kids Zumba, just a lot of fun things, okay? For sensory play tomorrow, it says outside play, making soup. There is a part in the book, and you'll see when we read the book, that the lady in the book makes soup. So get a bucket or an old pot that you don't mind them taking outside. Let them go outside, put some water in it, let them find some rocks, some sticks, some dirt, whatever they want to find to make pretend soup. If you have some old bowls or cups and a ladle that they can scoop in, that's great too. Anything we can do to get our kids outside during the time where we're kind of all on lockdown is really good. Okay, on Tuesday, you're going to make a book called What Do I Say About Farm Animals? And so you'll have the book. It says, for instance, the first one says, I say oink. Then you're going to have this page where they're going to, I traced around the animals because they're really too small for any of our kids to cut out. I wouldn't even want to cut them out like that. They're really little fine lines. So just cut around the shape. If you don't have one who gets to cut yet, just pre-cut them out ahead of time and you'll put them on every page and that'll make a little book. Then along with it, I'm sending this, which has the sentences. If you have the animals pre-cut out and your child has the book and you have this, you can work on pointing and saying, I say oink, and then point to the picture, let them find it, or cover it up and see if, if you have a pre-reader, see if they can start to read. They can start to match these sentence strips with the sentences in the book, however you want to use them. If you want to cut these apart, let them put them back together, cut the pictures off, pull them apart, and it's, you read it or they read it and you try to match them up. You can kind of make a game out of that. This is just a simple tracing activity with a pig. For sensory play on Tuesday, we have washing animals. So you want to take either some plastic animals that you have in some kind of toy at home, like Fisher-Price animals are great for that. If you have like a Fisher-Price zoo or a farm, or if you have a stuffed animal that maybe is kind of grubby and needs a bath, you want to take it outside with just some water and either some dish soap or some baby soap, some hand soap, whatever. Give them a brush, a sponge, whatever you think they need, and let them scrub and wash those animals. Okay? And then there is an activity to make a lamb paper bag puppet. Now think about when you make the paper bag puppet, you want your hand to go in the bag and be able to open the bottom flap kind of like a mouth. The website that this came from, and I've noted it on the lesson plan, is dlt/kids.com. If you can't look at the picture and figure out how to get it all together, go to the website, it'll show you. Okay, on Wednesday, we have this shopping bag game. So there are 3 pages that have a lot of the things that they talk about in the book that she buys at the market. I wouldn't take the time to cut them out around. I would just cut across and across. Lay them out on the floor. If you have more than 2 kids, pass them out between the kids. And as you're reading the book, when you come to that part in the book, so for instance, when you come to market to buy a live trout, let your child take the trout and come drop it in your shopping bag. If you have a paper bag, it'll stand up and work good, or if you have a reusable Publix bag, whatever. But you're gonna let them bring the pieces up and drop them in as you get to them in the story. The next thing that we have is Piggy numbers. So you've got numbers 1 through 20, and then you've got 2 worksheets, 1 through 10, and then 11 through 20. So if you have a little, you want to just do 1 through 10. If you have an older little, you want to do 1 through 20. This is really good to use the bingo marker that we talked about, or the do-a-dot if you have that. So you're going to cut these apart. An adult's going to cut these apart, or if you want to leave it together and just say, okay, 12. But you'll cut them apart, pull one out, and let's say you have number 5. You're going to let your little one find the number 5 and stamp it with the dot. Or you can save this. You can use some pom-poms, some bingo markers, some beans, whatever, if you want to just cover them. But the idea is that you're calling out a number and they can find it. If they're not yet recognizing numbers, then you're going to tell them, this is a 5. Where can we find 5 on here? And let them find it and stamp it. Once you cut these up, save these, put them in a sandwich bag or something, because we'll use these again. Okay, the next thing is a paper plate pig. So you're going to need 1 white paper plate. If you don't have a paper plate, just cut out a circle about that size. This little tiny picture shows what it's going to look like when it's done, and this tells you color these pink, color this pink, color these black, cut them out. You're going to glue them together on the plate and you're going to make a pig. You're going to either paint or color your paper plate pink. If they don't want to paint or color, cut out a piece of pink paper if you have it, or leave it white. The idea is just to have fun with it, doesn't have to look exactly like that one. Okay, on Thursday, the book is about going to the grocery store and different animals, but we're kind of leading into another book we're going to do next week that's all about the farm, and there's so many farm activities, so I'm putting some in this week. So this one is On the Farm, Not on the Farm. And on the same day, you're going to watch a farm field trip on YouTube. So you might want to do that first, and then you're going to go through the animals and sort the animals. Animals on the farm, animals not on the farm. And you can either glue them down or just set them down so you can make a game if you want to save it to do it again. Okay, there's another Go Noodle activity. And for sensory play, I have soapy bubbles. So to go outside with either a bucket or a bin, put some dish soap or some hand soap in it. If you have an old hand beater, which if you're a preschool or kindergarten teacher like me, you have one. But if not, a whisk, some spoons. If you take a straw and clip a diamond shape out of the top of it, kids can blow in it, but they can't suck the water back up. If you don't understand that, go and Google bubble painting and it'll show you how to do that. But just make a tub of soapy water, let them play outside, or let them, if you're brave like my mom used to do when mom were little, she let them do it in the sink. You can do that too. Okay, there's another, on Friday, there's an On the Farm video on YouTube by ABC Teach. And then there's an activity called Which One is Different? So there are 2 pages where there are 4 items and they're gonna pick out what's different. If 4 is too many for one of your kids, cut the pieces out and just give them 3. You can even cut a lot of them out and find ones that make pairs and sort of put them out like a memory game if you don't want to write on it or if you want to print it twice, but you have 2 sheets to do that with, okay? And then for sensory, I have painting with pom-poms. So just the little pom-poms like you can get at Dollar Tree. If they'll hold them in their hand and dip them in paint, that's great. If not, you can clip it with a clothespin. If you don't have pom-poms, if you have a kitchen sponge that you can cut into little small cubes, just something that they have to hold with just the tips of their fingers. We want that to be kind of fine motor. Okay, so that gives you a lot of things to do over the week. If you didn't get through with some of the things last week and you have questions, you can feel free to message me or email me. But just remember, this is our book. If you have it at home, go ahead and get yours out so you can start reading it. Our class number on Happy Numbers is 262004. You can find me on Facebook. And I will get this scanned and sent out to everybody as soon as I get to work tomorrow. So hopefully by early to mid-morning. Okay? Have a good night.